What is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Outriders video, and today we are in part 3 of our 4-part series on the Outriders classes. Today is the Trickster. Now this class is incredibly powerful. It has a mix of really good solo skills, but actually I'm going to show you today why you're going to want one of these players on your team if you are playing co-op. He has a ton of really interesting and really controlling skills that will really give you the edge in some of those tough battles to come. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week. And otherwise, let's get straight into this video. So let's get straight into it then. What is the Trickster? What can he do? And what is he all about? Essentially, the Trickster can bend time and space to manipulate it to his advantage. You can go from having an orb that will slow down enemies that are inside it to teleporting behind enemies and instantaneously giving yourself a shield which is unique to the Trickster. The ability that we're seeing the most of is the Trickster's blade attack. Now this attack can scythe through enemies, and if it doesn't kill the enemy on hit, it will immobilize those enemies for a short period of time. So let's talk about what's unique to the Trickster so far. The Trickster is all about speed, getting in and out and doing the most damage as possible and affecting the battlefield as best as he can. He has teleporting abilities, and some of his trees, like most of the other characters, can support a tank role. So if you are looking for someone that can manipulate the field very quickly but also be able to stay alive on their own, the Trickster may be for you. So as we said, the Trickster is going to be all about getting in and out of the battlefield as fast as they can. So as you would expect with that, it has a multitude of melee attacks. Like the Pyromancer, it has a standard melee attack which can stun enemies, and it also has a melee attack that when you are running, you will go in and slam the ground, which will also temporarily immobilize enemies. When it comes to how the Trickster will heal, he is very much an offensive character. He needs to be close to enemies to gain both health and shields. So find yourselves teleporting straight into the middle of the action, often in order to keep yourselves alive. It is not about standing on the edge of the map waiting for your health to regen. That is not what the Trickster is. You need to get up close and personal and get your hands dirty. So let's get into the skills now that the Trickster has. We have seen 4 of the 8 that have been previewed so far. So let's go in and break these down. Some of the ones that you'll see here on the screen at the moment are the ones that we haven't had full details on yet, and they look super cool, but we'll get to that in another video. But let's get straight into it. So the first ability that the Trickster has, the first one you unlock, is the temporal slice. Now we touched on this briefly earlier, but enemies that are hit with the temporal slice will either die or they will be temporarily immobilized. You will know that they are temporarily immobilized because you'll be able to see their skeleton. This will make for you and your teammates to be able to go in and smack the hell out of that enemy while he's temporarily immobilized. Remember, he can't shoot at you while that's happening. This is kind of the bread and butter of what the Trickster is. Any other skills that some of your other co-op players have that group up enemies together can work really well for you, because then you can teleport into the middle of them, temporal slice, and you will A, if you don't kill them, immobilize them all, or B, just slice the hell out of them. Next up we have borrowed time. That is skill number 2. Now this is a really interesting skill. Press borrowed time and you instantly get a shield worth half your health applied to you, and you create a temporal kind of copy of yourself. You will then be able to fly forward into the enemies with this boosted shield and let all hell break loose. If you get into trouble, you can then press borrowed time again and teleport back to your original start point. So it works really well, because if you get in there, kill all the enemies, then great. If you don't kill all the enemies, get yourself into trouble, you can just teleport back to your original start point. Power 3 that has been revealed is Slow Trap. Now this is an incredibly powerful skill. I would say that all of the skills so far that we've seen, this is one that's going to be the most utilized. Essentially what you will do is you will press your ability and create an orb around you. Any enemies that are in that orb will be slowed down significantly, and you will not slow down yourself or your allies either. Now this has multiple applications. You can use this offensively or defensively. Offensively, you could put it on where you know a number of enemies are about to spawn or they are going to come through, and then you could go in there and use your temporal blade to slice them all to death. This will also slow down enemies for your teammates as well, so it will be really useful in co-op play. Defensively, let's say you've got a teammate on the ground, you can go in and revive that teammate while all the enemies are slowed down around you. This is going to be one of my absolute go-to skills. The final skill that we have had previewed is Hunt the Prey, and this is another blockbuster of a skill. Essentially what you're going to be able to do here is highlight an enemy, then once you press the button again, you will teleport behind that enemy with a proportion of shield based on your health, and you will also slow that enemy down. So say for example there's a pesky sniper that's taking pop shots at your co-op players, you can just teleport behind them and just destroy them, leaving your players clear then to carry on with the rest of the engagement. So let's move on to the skill trees themselves, and like with all the other characters, the skill tree is split into 3 branches. You have Master of Space, Harbinger and Assassin. Master of Space is all about movement speed. You will get buffs to your damage and your healing. Based on your movement speed, you can get buffs to specific weapons. This is all about players that like to be on the move all the time in the action, up close and personal, and you will get great damage bonuses because of it. The Harbinger branch of the skill tree is pretty simple. This is how you turn your Trickster into a tank, so you can combine all of the abilities that he has with some serious survivability. Finally, you have the Assassin's branch of the tree, and this is pretty simple as well. This will buff all your action skill or anomaly damage, so your temporal blade and anything that does damage to enemies will get an action skill buff. So there you have it guys, there is the Trickster, a really good all-round character and one that you would love to see on your co-op team. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel or join us over on Twitch. We stream 5 times a week, and otherwise I'll catch you on the flip.